everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Maine Morgue. My name is Jamie Santamore. Gonna be a short show this week because, as many of you know, there was no Flash or Legends this week. So I'm gonna start off this week by talking about Supergirl. And here we go. It was a good show this week. I really enjoyed it. Great storyline. Supergirl and Lena Luthor is a great thing for the show, I feel. And I think it can really grow throughout the season and hopefully into season 3. Superman has Lex Luthor. Supergirl can have Lena Luthor. I think that's something that they can build on. I really think that that's something that can continue throughout the show. Not constantly, because I'm sure they have to do other villains, but something that they can focus on once in a while. I love the Metallo character, and I love the look at LexCorp's toys in this episode. Finding out that Lena was a Luthor all along, being Lex's biological daughter, was something that I didn't know because I am not a comic book reader, so that was interesting for me. And I hope they explore more of Lex and Lena growing up together, because I think that's something that could really help the show out as kind of a filler storyline every now and then, especially if we're going to eventually see a Lex Luthor on Supergirl. Next week's episode looks a little weird to me, but I'll give it a try. I'm not going to condemn it here and now because all I've seen is a few little clips. So that's all I have to say about Supergirl this week. The show continues to grow on me. I really do enjoy the show. It's fun to watch. I can get invested in the characters, which is kind of cool. I mean, that's why you watch a show, if you get invested in the characters. More on that subject a little bit later, being invested. Arrow was absolutely amazing this week. Felicity using the information that she acquired from Helix to continue to help Team Arrow is surprising to me, and it's interesting. I figured she would take this information from Helix and become a hacktivist again. And I think that might be a possibility further down the road in Season 5 or even possibly Season 6. I think it's hilarious that Renee is Deputy Mayor Quentin Lance's assistant. Because I don't really think Renee is a suit and tie kind of guy. He just doesn't look that part, you know? The episode was very Renee / Wild Dog heavy, which was something I was really looking forward to in this episode. And that's what made it amazing for me. The flashbacks this week were all about Renee and his wife and daughter and how he became Wild Dog. I loved Renee calling everybody Haas. And I think he's done it throughout the season. I'm not sure. But it's really funny. It's just kind of off-putting. And just that it shows that Renee can be a humorous person. The Curtis-Renee argument over gun control was very interesting to me. And it's interesting that a show like Arrow can take such an important topic in our world today, gun control, and specifically here in the United States, and put it on a show like Arrow and bring it to the forefront of their show. Lately, I've been thinking that Felicity is more or less a plot device, especially now that she's got this memory stick, or flash drive rather, with all this information on it from Helix. This episode, she really kind of went away from that plot device thing a little bit. But she's still just there to get the information for Oliver and Team Arrow. And I'm hoping they do something more with Felicity this season and into next season. Or really just, take her out of Team Arrow completely. Have her go work at Palmer Tech or whatever, somewhere. Just get her away from Team Arrow. Have her be a hacktivist or whatever. Because if she's not going to be a team member of Arrow and have more to do than just be a plot device, I don't think she really needs to be there. Curtis can run everything from the Arrow Cave and be Overwatch, if that's the case. The Vigilante made his return this week, which was something I didn't expect in the episode. And I'm going to just throw this out here. Is the vigilante the DA? Or did I miss that? Have they divulged that on the season? Or are they just trying to, where he got shot earlier in this episode and then the vigilante showed up, are they trying to distance the two characters so when they do reveal it, it's not such a big surprise? I think the DA is the vigilante, but I could be wrong. The major thing in this episode is Mayor Queen's stance on gun control, like I said earlier, and his inner conflict with it as the Green Arrow and the mayor of Star City. And like I said, this is a major issue here in the United States currently and around the world. And for Arrow to tackle it is very cool in my opinion, as I said earlier. Dinah's story in this episode was great, and it was awesome to see them develop her character. Props to the writers on that one. I greatly appreciate solid writing on these shows. Renee losing his wife was tough to watch, but really puts Wild Dog into focus for me personally. Mayor Queen being the voice of reason and talking the shooter down was awesome to me. And it shows Oliver that not everything can be solved with violence or as the Green Arrow. Sometimes Mayor Queen has to step in and handle his business. Renee lost his daughter to CPS due to the events of what happened with his wife. And that just, being a father of 3 children, I would be crushed if CPS took my children. This all happens at the same time as the news report comes out that the Green Arrow has killed Damien Dark, and I think that was the catalyst for creating Wild Dog, which, I mean, Oliver became the Hood, the Arrow, the Green Arrow, to inspire people, and he did, in many ways. He has inspired Star City repeatedly, and he's created these other vigilantes who want to save the city, Wild Dog being one of them. At the end of the episode, Curtis and Renee are talking about their previous gun control discussion and how Curtis didn't know that Renee had lost his wife and that he lost his daughter to Child Protective Services. And, it was a great way to end the episode. And Curtis says, well, let's get your daughter back. I have a lawyer friend that's willing to help you. And now I see this whole thing as a plus for the Wild Dog Renee character, in that he works by day as the deputy governor's assistant. So that shows CPS that he can hold a job, that he can be a productive member of society. All the while, well, at night, he's Wild Dog. I mean, obviously people don't know that, but I think they're going in the right direction with this story, going in the right direction with this character. And I really hope they keep Wild Dog around for season 6. As we all know, Arrow has been renewed for a 6th season. So I hope they continue this storyline with Wild Dog, Renee, and his daughter. And I hope to see something come of it, hopefully before the end of this season, but if not, in the very beginning of season 6. As for this coming episode, I didn't get a chance to see the preview because I had to watch the episode on the CW website because my CW channel cut out last night. I was very disappointed because I love Arrow. Everybody knows Arrow is one of my favorite shows, period, on television. Excuse me. I want to switch gears here and talk about the show Powerless, which airs on NBC. It is a DC property, with the basic premise being that these people live in Charm City, which most people know Charm City as Baltimore. I don't know if this is just Charm City or if it's actually Baltimore. I just started watching this show because a fellow YouTube creator suggested that I check it out. And I plan on watching tonight's episode, which I did. I wasn't planning on recording this in time to talk about this week's episode. It was a great episode, some funny stuff in this episode. The whole thing, it's a comedy. And basically, it's regular civilians working regular jobs, living in a superhero world where superhero stuff happens and they have to learn to deal with it or learn how to protect themselves during it. I'm actually kind of on the fence about this show. I mean, there's a place for comedy in the superhero world and comic book shows and stuff like that, and it gives a different side completely of the stories, which is nice. But I'm not sure if this is something that I'm going to continue to watch. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. Of course, it's only 2 episodes old. So I'm going to continue to watch it for a few more episodes and make up my mind. But it's a funny show. I don't really watch a lot of comedies, so every once in a while I do like to laugh. And I did laugh at this show. It stars Danny Pudi, I think his name is, from Community. And High School Musical. Vanessa Hutchins, is that her name? The one who dated Zac Efron. Anyways, she's funny in the show. I love the... I really do enjoy the show. It's funny. The dynamic of the show is something to get used to, and that's why I'm going to continue to watch it, because it's starting to grow on me. I do love the comedy aspect of it. So that's what I've got to say about Powerless. Now, I want to talk about the Ben Affleck, the Batman, and the John Campea saga that's happened this week. Before I get into this topic, I want to give a shout out to YouTube creator Jody's Corner. I love your stuff, man. Keep it up. I love the stuff you're doing on your channel, and your video on the John Campea saga is what prompted me to talk about it on my show. So thank you so much, Jody's Corner. Earlier this week, it was reported by John Campea of the Collider podcast that Ben Affleck wants out as Batman after the Batman movie. John Campea is credible, but the way he delivered the quote was what made me take notice of this issue. He said for the last 4 days he's heard from 3 different people, and both of them said that Ben Affleck absolutely wants out of Batman. The problem I have with that statement is he says he spoke to 3 people and both of them confirmed that Ben Affleck wants out as Batman. If you talk to 3 people, wouldn't you say all 3 people and not both? Just saying. Maybe he was misquoted. Maybe he misspoke. I don't know. Then a day after all this stuff started coming out, a script was turned in that everybody loved, and it was reported that Ben is back on board 100% with his Batman movie. And good with everything. And see, that's the problem with news or reports and sources. Until Ben Affleck or Warner Brothers comes out and says anything, this is all just speculation. And nothing has been confirmed. And, I mean, everybody that does these videos talks about DC, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever it may be. And we all want to get our stuff out there for subscribers and all that stuff. And I get that. And hell, I'm going to talk about some news later in the show that, hasn't been confirmed, but it's just been rumors and early talks and first dates. And, nothing's been confirmed, but I want to give my thoughts on it anyways. And that's what, I really think that's what John Campea was trying to do, was give his thoughts on something he was told. You can't really fault the guy for that. I love Collider. I watch their stuff all the time. They're an amazing channel here on YouTube, and I listen to their podcast. It's great stuff. I'm not knocking John Campea or the Collider group because they're amazing at what they do. I have one word for YouTube and YouTube creators and scoopers and all that, everybody that does this stuff. One word, 5 letters. RELAX. Relax. Like I said, until Ben Affleck himself or Warner Brothers comes out and says Ben Affleck is leaving the role of Batman, we're all speculating. And I get that it's cool to speculate and talk and fantasize and all that stuff. I get it. But relax. Don't go so fucking overboard with it. Now, personally, do I want Ben Affleck to leave the Batman role? Hell fucking no. Ben Affleck was an amazing Batman in Batman vs. Superman. He's going to be awesome in Justice League. He's going to be awesome in The Batman. I have no doubt about that. No doubt whatsoever. And that might be because Ben Affleck is from Massachusetts and I'm a Mainer and we're both New Englanders. That might be where I'm coming from. I think Ben Affleck is an amazing actor. He's an amazing director, knows what he's doing, an amazing writer. Hell, he's won an Academy Award for screenwriting, so come on. Give the guy some credit. Now, with all that said, Ben Affleck is said to be under a lot of pressure because his passion project, Live by Night, lost $75 million after its release. And I believe that he is under a lot of pressure. And I understand that pressure, being a filmmaker myself. But do you really think that The Batman isn't going to be a successful movie? I mean, seriously. I really think that The Batman, if it's done right with the right characters, the right writer, the right director, I think that could be the DC Universe's first $1 million movie. Or, $1 billion movie. I really do. But like I said, if it's done with the right characters and the right crew. Now, I'm not a Marvel fanboy. I'm not a DC fanboy. I watch all of it. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Avengers, I watch all those. I watch the DC Extended Universe. I watch the DC TV shows. I love it all. What I'm a fan of is good movies. So what I'm about to say is not a dig on anybody. With that said, my personal opinion is that Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad were better movies than Captain America Civil War. Now, before you hate me in the comment section, which feel free to hate me if you want to, send me nasty emails, it's fine. I'm used to it. I get a bunch all the time. I say that because DC went dark, like midnight dark with their cinematic universe. Whereas Marvel makes friendly popcorn movies. They're bright, they're full of colors, they're happy ending all the time. And that's great if you like that kind of thing, and I do. I enjoy those movies. I thought BVS and Suicide Squad were better than Civil War. It's just my opinion. You don't have to like it. Hell, you don't have to agree with it. It's just my opinion. There it is. Now, I want to switch gears here and talk a little bit of horror, because, I mean, this is supposed to be a horror channel, because I'm a horror writer and director, and a little bit of an actor. Anyways, last week I talked about the Friday the 13th news about the movie being removed from Paramount's schedule, and now how rights are going to more or less be reverted back to New Line on January 1st next year. And I made the comment that how hard is it to write a Friday the 13th movie? And I got a lot of emails because I made similar comments on social media. And I decided to start writing a Friday the 13th movie. I'm an amateur writer. I've written probably 24 scripts. One has gone into production and completed a film, Sins of Man, Rise of Mortis. Its sequel, Sins of Man 2, Vengeance, is in post-production currently, and we will be shooting a short film in the spring. So I kind of have a good grasp on making movies. I wouldn't say, great, like I'm an award-winning artist or anything, because I'm not. But I do have an idea on how to make movies. So I took it upon myself to start writing the script. I can't wrap my head around how seasoned Hollywood screenwriters have a difficulty writing a Friday the 13th movie. It's a fresh pair of breasts or a kill every 7 minutes. It's not hard. It's not rocket scientist. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it. It's not rocket science. That's what I'm trying to say. Not a rocket scientist. Well, I know I'm not. have to go to school for that shit. I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm working on the script with passion because I love Friday the 13th. I've seen all the movies probably hundreds of times, except for Part 9. That one sucked. And I want to give the fans all the things they expect from a Friday the 13th movie. And I'll give away a little spoiler here, because I don't talk about projects while they're in the writing stage, while they're in production, even while they're in post-production until after they're released. So I'm going to give you guys a little nugget here. My Friday the 13th script has something that fans have been begging for decades. And it's something that I think you guys will enjoy if I can pull it off. A lot of people ask what I would do with the script when it's done. Will I try to get it to Paramount? Will I make a fan film? Or will I just set it on my shelf back there with my script for Halloween 3? And I don't know. What do you guys think I should do with it? Do you think if I consider it good enough, should I send it to Paramount? Or should I just keep it? I could make a fan film, but the problem with making fan films is you really can't make a lot of money on them because you don't own the rights. You can't market it. You can't do anything with it other than put it out there and not get any money for it. So I'm in movies to kind of build my career up and get better projects and make bigger movies. So I would kind of have to make money on a DVD, I guess. Sort of. And I would be willing to pay cast and all that stuff with money earned from a fan film. But I think I will more than likely either shelf it here in my office or send it to Paramount and see if they can do something with it. But I would really like to know what you guys think I should do with it once it's finished. It's about a third of the way done right now, and I'll work on it again tomorrow after I upload this episode. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think I should do with this Friday the 13th script. I want to talk a little bit about a couple of shows. One that's very new, only has 2 episodes, and the other one's been on for season 3 or season 4. First up, I want to talk about Legion. And I've been seeing ads for this all through the second half of the football season on Fox, because I'm a huge football fan. And I just have to say, what the fuck is going on that show? I don't get it. And I think Marvel fucked up. And I don't get it. Maybe it's because I don't read the comic books or didn't read the comic books back when I was a kid. I don't understand the concept. The guy's a mutant, doesn't know how to control his powers. I get that part. But can somebody explain it to me? What am I missing? And I watched last week's episode. I watched it twice. Still, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't figure out. Like, I knew the kid was a mutant, and they're trying to help him, or they're trying to harm him. I wasn't sure at the beginning of the episode, or the middle of the episode. And then this week, there's more of the same stuff. And I'm like, okay, is he crazy? Is that chick in his head? Is this whole thing in his head? Excuse me. What is going on this show? So if you could hit me up in the comments below, or email me, themainmorgue@gmail.com. If you can explain it to me, please do. I like the show. It's interesting, but I watch it late at night, so it's really hard for me to focus. Maybe I should start watching it during the day, because I record it, because I'm usually in bed or working on something. Lastly, this week, I want to talk about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I loved this show when it first came out. I watched it every week, and I continue to watch it every week. This season really has me scratching my head, because the show gets bad ratings, right? And this is their answer, is to bring in the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff. And that's one thing I do enjoy about S.H.I.E.L.D. The DC, the Marvel, the MCU affects the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. So they have the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff that came out of Civil War. And now they have these androids, robots, cyborgs. I guess they'd be called cyborgs. In this season, and the story seems to be dragging. Now, this week, you have Coulson, May, and a couple others. I can't remember the other two characters' name. Mac and somebody else. Shit, I can't. The director. Right. They're all drones now of the doctors. I can never remember his name. And Ada. They're all robots now. And the only two left on the base of the main cast that aren't robots are Fitz and Simmons. So I'm having a real hard time grasping the concept of this show. Not the concept, but where they're going and what they're trying to do. I really enjoyed the opening part of this season with Ghost Rider because I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan. I actually enjoyed those movies. But what are they doing on this show? Are they trying to kill it? And I love the Inhumans. I love Skye, or Quake as she's called. I love, great character. But I really wish to kind of get back to the Inhumans and try setting up that Inhumans movie, which I guess is now not going to happen. But maybe do something where you can get something going to a potential movie. It really makes no sense to me, S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. If anybody can help me figure out where they're going through some comics or something, let me know, because I love the show and I'll continue to watch it because, like I said, I'm not a Marvel fanboy. I'm not a DC fanboy. I like it all. I love good television. I love great movies. So if you guys want to help me understand what they're trying to do on S.H.I.E.L.D. or Legion, that would be great. I will watch the shows every week, and hopefully it starts to become more clear. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in the second half of their season, so they got to be winding this stuff up. So we'll see. All right, folks, that is all I've got this week. I will try to do a longer episode next week. I mean, here we are approaching a half hour already. Legends and The Flash come back next Tuesday after their 1 week hiatus. Tuesday is the first episode of the double story arc of Gorilla City for The Flash, which I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to see what they do on Legends next. Take care, everybody. I will see you guys next week with another episode. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. May the Force be with you always.